The Orioles have not looked like a last-place team, coming into Progressive Field and taking it to the Tribe in the first two games of this series. Tonight, the Indians need to wake up the bats, and Genmar Gomez looks to continue his solid pitching to avoid a sweep at the hands of the O's next on Sports Time Ohio. It's a hot, humid evening in downtown Cleveland as the Tribe finishes up a three-game series tonight against the Baltimore Orioles. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Bannick. Tonight, Baltimore, a team that's won 8 of 9 under new manager Buck Showalter, will attempt to do something here in Cleveland that they have not done in over 20 years.
Well, and that is sweep the Tribe. And I'll tell you what, if they continue to get pitching like they have in the first couple of games, they're going to be just fine. Last night, Brad Burgesson made it really look simple. A two-hitter. And that second hit came in the ninth inning. But when you look under their Buck Showalter, an 8-1 record, they're hitting the baseball, yes. But the key for me, the starters record, 5-0. 8 quality starts, and their ERA just 2.30. When you can go out there and give your manager into the seventh inning, it's easy for the bullpen to match up, and it's much easier for them to score fewer runs.
Brad Burgesson was dynamite last year. The last Oriole to pitch a complete game win in Cleveland was Ben McDonald way back in 1990. All right, the Indians could use an outing like that tonight from Genmar Gomez, and I wouldn't be surprised if they get it because he's been pitching very well.
Well, he really has. 7 innings in his first start. He went 5 in his second. That was on 3 days rest, and then 5 in a third against the Twins. He didn't get a decision in his last start, but the young man went out there and pitched very well. He only gave up 1 earned run. 2-0 this year, 1.56 ERA. He'll be matched up against veteran Kevin Millwood, who's having just a tough year for him. He's a free agent at the end of the year. He's looking for win number 3 this year.
The last time Baltimore took the Brooms to Cleveland was 1987. We'll see if the Indians can avoid the sweep. Coming up next, right here on Sports Time Ohio. We'll wrap up the season series here tonight. Baltimore has won 3 out of 5 after taking the first 2 in this series. Genmar Gomez to the hill tonight for the Indians. And let's have a look at Buck Showalter's starting lineup that he will face this evening. It will be Brian Roberts leading it off, followed by Nick Markakis and Ty Wigington. Luke Scott, the DH, will hit cleanup. Then it's Adam Jones, followed by Felix P.A. Matt Wieters, Cesar Esturez, and Josh Bell round it out.
Tonight's starting pitcher brought to you by the Indians Team Shop, where you get 2 free mezzanine tickets when you spend $50. It's Genmar Gomez making his 4th start. His record is 2-0. The Indians are 3-0 in his starts. His last start came against the Minnesota Twins, where he was in line to get the win. The bullpen gave it up, but they ended up winning the ball game 7-6. So he will go out there for his 4th Major League start. And, of course, he has never faced the Baltimore Orioles. So we'll see how he fares against the left-handers of Baltimore, because this year left-handers hitting just 167 off him. All right, let's check out the Taco Bell Indians defensive lineup. In the outfield, it's Crow, Brantley, and Chu. On the infield, it's Marte, Cabrera, Donald, and Laporta. Marson is behind the plate. And when you're making a choice for late night, Taco Bell is a late night place to be.
Lance Barksdale will call the balls and strikes this evening. Brian Onora at first. Tom Hallion, the crew chief, at second. Ron Culpa is at third. Indians will try to stop a 4-game losing streak here tonight. Meanwhile, Baltimore has won 4 straight and 8 of their last 9. Leadoff man Brian Roberts will get it started for Baltimore tonight. Roberts having a good series. He's gone 4 for 8 with a home run. We've talked about the fact that he's been sidelined for much of the year with the herniated disc in his back, and Buck Showalter says they're monitoring him. They're making sure that everything stays healthy and clean, but said he has no plans of resting Roberts at this point, because Roberts wants to finish the year strong and put together some at-bats and get himself rolling into next year.
He's been strong in this series. Of those 4 times, every time he let off an inning with that hit out of the 4 hits he has. So,
well, he's let off the first 2 games with a single. Takes a strike here from Genmar Gomez, and that evens the count at 1-1.
The one thing we've noticed about Gomez, too, is with left-handers the first time they faced him, which this will be, they don't realize that tail on that fastball on the inside part of the plate. They think it's going to stay inside. He starts it off at that hip, and it has a little, comeback over the plate.
And the 2-1. Roberts shoots it foul. Evens the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. In his last start, Gomez went 5 1/3, giving up the 1 run against Minnesota, and that's something that, Manny Acton, Tim Belcher would like to see a little more length from the starter.
Right.
Now the 2-2. Got on top of it, grounds it to second. Jason Donald throws him out, 1 away.
That's the tough thing when you have a young pitcher, when you'd say you would like him to go deeper or longer in a ball game. Some of these guys hit their pitch count by that 5th inning a lot of times, and they're pretty much forced to take them out.
Well, last night we saw a perfect example of efficiency from Brad Burgesson, the Orioles starter, and Manny Acta said after the ballgame, he threw a lot of first pitch strikes, and then when he got ahead, he had that good back foot slider, and he had a lot of Indians hitters chasing at that pitch. They made a lot of quick outs.
Well, yes. What 6, 7, and 8 was 10 pitches or less in the last 3 innings up going into the 9th.
Yeah, at one point he had, it's 4 of the 6 innings were 10 pitches or less. The 1-1. Popped foul, out of play. Nick Markakis 2 for 8 in the series. 38 doubles on the year for the Orioles right fielder.
Yeah, that's tied for first in the league, and when he gets his next double, that'll be career number 200 for him.
Gomez with a 1-2. That's blooped in the left field for a base hit. So a 1-out base runner for Baltimore here in the first as Ty Wigington comes to the plate.
He's just a good hitter. I don't care how you face that ball on the inside part of the plate, and he stayed inside the baseball and shoots it to left field. A nice line drive. And that's why he has so many doubles, because he will go gap to gap.
Pitch down low to Ty Wigington for ball one. One ball and one strike. Ty Wigington riding the 8-game hitting streak coming into tonight's action. This is a red-hot Orioles lineup right now. Not only have they pitched well since Buck Showalter took over, but they've also been swinging the bats extremely well. Luke Scott riding a 9-game hitting streak coming into tonight's action.
Yeah, they're hitting over 308 in their 9 games under Buck Showalter with 385 average with runners in scoring position.
Went too far. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ty Wigington hit his first major league home run back in August of 2002, and according to David Vincent of the Home Run Encyclopedia, it was the first time a player named Ty had homered since Ty Tyson did it with the Giants in 1926. And you think about Ty Cobb, you figure there would have been a lot of kids maybe named Ty that would have eventually made it to the big leagues and done it, but it was a long time coming. And, of course, not surprisingly, when informed of that, Ty Wigington said, "No way." And he had never heard of Ty Tyson.
Neither have I.
Also not surprising. The 1-2 pitch. In tight. Give it another half inning. Tommy Ball will have Ty Tyson's life story for you.
Ended up going into the chicken business. He said.
No, not different guy. Runner goes 2-2. Strike 3 called. And the throw to second. Got him. Strike him out, throw him out. Double play ends the first. Lou Marson with the new haircut guns down Markakis, and that ends the first. Maybe that helped him with that throw down to second base. Almost didn't recognize him. I walked right by him today.
Yeah, it's hot.
It's the August haircut, right?
That's exactly right.
All right, here's the Indians starting lineup presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive, proud to be the official auto insurance provider of the Cleveland Indians. Brantley, Cabrera, and Chu. How about that home batting average for the Indians right fielder? Duncan, Crow, and Laporta. That's right, Trevor Crow hitting 5th for the first time in his career here in the big leagues. Donald, Marte, and Marson rounded out.
Kevin Millwood, 35-year-old, on the mound for the Orioles, making his 23rd start, 2-11 for Millwood. But he is 4-1 in his career in 5 starts against the Tribe.
There's a pitch for a strike to Michael Brantley, who is 2 for 7 in the series with a home run. Quickly, 0-2 the count. Millwood has struck out 1,904 batters in his career. With 3 more, he'll tie Jerry Royce for 78th place all time. Fouled right back by Brantley. Millwood, of course, started his career with the Atlanta Braves under the tutelage of that great pitching staff. Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, Smoltz. Learned a lot just watching. Said especially from Maddux and the way Maddux watched the game and the way he dissected hitters.
Himself.
Not only their swings, but their stances, what they were looking for. He said Maddux would come off the field, sit down and during a start on the bench and tell him what was going to happen in the next inning and then go out and do exactly those things.
Well, you see, we were talking about that last night. When you watch guys that are pitchers on that staff, you learn from those guys going out and executing and maybe learn something from them that you can apply to your game.
Brantley takes the off-speed pitch and just lines it right back up the middle. And the Indians get their leadoff man aboard, something they have not been able to do much of in this series, especially last night.
It's a breaking ball, and Brantley was able to keep his hands back and just hit it off the end of the bat, but got it into the outfield for a base hit. And left-handers this year against Kevin Millwood have had their way. They are hitting .338 against him.
In his career, lefties only have a .273 average, so that's kind of alarming, I guess. Either that or you just chalk it up to one of those years where they've got his number.
Well, he's not throwing as hard as he once did. You know, he's 35 years old.
He's no spring chicken anymore.
You know,
a lot of miles on that arm.
35 years old, and you know, you lose that little bit, then you have to have everything and locate to perfection. He lost his first 8 decisions this year as an Oriole.
Spent time on the disabled list after a start against the Tigers July 5th, in which he only lasted an inning. And you're right, Rick. He went through a stretch there June 3rd, starting with a game against the Yankees where he gave up 6, 6, and 8 runs consecutive starts. And that's very un-Millwood-like.
Well, his problem has been the first inning.
Yeah.
He's given up 34 runs in that first inning. And in his last start, it was the first time he didn't give up a first-inning run since June 30th.
Yeah, that was a span of 5 starts.
You know, and in 11 of his last 13 starts, he's given up at least 2. So, in other words, try and get him before he settles in. At least get on that board and play from in front.
As Dribble Cabrera, 2 for 7 in the series. With Brantley at first, he's got a hole on the right side. And the 1-2 is fouled off to the left. There you get a look at those first inning problems that he has had.
Well, and that is tough when you're a starter when it continues to happen. His first inning ERA is 13.50. And then you go from 34 runs that he allows in that first inning to he's allowed only 3 second inning runs. So get him early.
He's thrown a lot of strikes here in the first inning. 8 out of his first 10 pitches have been strikes. You remember that year he had with the Indians in 2005 when he won the ERA title and yet had a losing record. He was 9-11 that season. And it was the first time the AL ERA champ had a losing record since another Indian, Stan Kovaleski, did it in 1923. Just missed inside with that pitch to even it up. Indian starter Genmar Gomez, of course, authored a perfect game at AA Akron. Kevin Millwood threw a no-hitter in the big leagues at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia while a member of the Phillies, and he did it against the San Francisco Giants. 2-2. Bangs it through that hole on the right side. Brantley has to stop at second. That ball got to Markakis quickly, and you don't run on his arm. And the Indians have 2 hits to start the first inning.
Well, and both left-handers, he was able to get in front. He had Brantley down 0-2. He had Cabrera down 1-2. And even 0-2. So actually the first 2 hitters have been down in the count 0-2, but they've been able to work their way and get a couple of base hits.
And now Shin-Soo Choo. You know, you look back to last night, and we talked about it at the time. It was an interesting decision. Buck Showalter had the youngster Brad Burgesson on the hill going for the complete game, but Choo came to the plate representing the tying run in the 9th inning. He had the left-hander Mike Gonzalez ready in the bullpen as Choo takes a strike. And Buck Showalter showed some confidence in the young man and said, you know what, let's give him a chance to do it himself.
He said he had that look in his eyes.
Yeah.
And you know what, that goes a long way. That's a gut feeling right there. The kid was so free and easy in the 8th inning, so he said, let's go.
Off-speed pitch popped him up. Left fielder Felix Pie with a routine play here. And the runners hold for out number 1.
Let's check out the Orioles' defense tonight, brought to you by Huntington Bank. It's P.A., Jones, Markakis in the outfield. It is Bell at third, Estur is at short, Roberts at second, Wigington at first, Matt Wieters behind the plate.
Speaking of that 9th inning situation last night, both Showalter and Burgesson acknowledged afterwards how big that moment in the game was for the pitcher. Showalter said it's a big confidence booster for the next time he's in that situation.
Well, if you had a legitimate closer, and I mean not that Gonzalez isn't, he's been hurt and he's been on the DL, and in their position where they're at, you would have brought your closer in. Most managers would have. But now, when you're having the year that Baltimore's having, this is how you have to teach kids and let them learn how to close games out or complete games. And I had no problem with the decision because even if the kid gave up a home run, it was still just a tie game. It wasn't a loss. So, you know, that's how you have to build character. Manny Actas had to do the same things. I think he's left young starters out there in situations normally you wouldn't do. But you have to see what they're made of.
Check swing bouncer to second. Roberts will take care of Duncan. 2 down. Indians at second and third. And now it will be up to Trevor Crowe. Time now for our achievement of the game, brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in us all. Rick Sutcliffe also won the ERA title in his first season as an Indian back in 1982.
I was there.
Your teammate.
I had to chase down a lot of his fly balls, which is good. But, you know, that was, his best year. Right now, when you look at 2005, now 2010, it's 584. It's the highest it's ever been. But, pitching in that Camden Yards is no easy task.
And before that, he pitched in Texas, so that's not exactly a pitcher's paradise either. In fact, since Millwood left the Indians, the year he won the ERA title, he is 50-57 with a 4.75 ERA. Crowe bunts it foul. Trevor Crowe batting fifth for the first time.
When's the last time? Yeah, when's the last time you've seen a number 5 hitter try and lay down a bunt with 2 outs, hitting in the number 5 hole?
Oh, there's a case where Manny Actas he's maybe trying to take a little of the pressure off Matt Laporta, who's struggled a little bit here the last few days.
I understand that, but my point being is with Trevor Crowe, go ahead and swing the bat, man. It's the first inning. He's one of your better hitters with runners in scoring position. He did this in the Minnesota series. Yep. He ended up getting a base hit when he swung the bat. It's mindset. I don't know what he's thinking there. Maybe you're catching the third baseman back. I don't know.
Well, that was obviously his thinking, just didn't execute. And even then, it's got to be a very good bunt to beat it out. Missed outside with a breaking ball, 2-2. The one thing about Kevin Millwood, though, you talked about his record and ERA since he's left Cleveland. He's had a couple of stints on the DL, but for the most part, he takes the ball every 5 days. And teams that have him in their rotation, you can count on him to show up. Be that workhorse. 2-2 pitch. Missed inside. He started 147 games since he left Cleveland.
I'm sure that's what Baltimore was thinking when they traded for him, and got him from Texas. I talked to Mike Flanagan, who does their games on television, who was a pitching coach for the Orioles, and he loves them. I mean, they love him over there. He said he really did get off to a good start, except it didn't translate into wins. And, then it just continued, and then I think it became frustrating after a point in time.
Payoff pitch. Crow bangs it on the ground. Backhanded there by the shortstop. Asturias to throw to first. Not in time. Crow beats it out for an infield hit, and the Indians strike first. Lead it 1-0 on Crow's 29th run batted in on the year, as Brantley scores from third and as Drupal Cabrera moves over to third base.
Well, that's good hustle, getting down the line, and he did beat it out. It's a tough play. It's a breaking ball, and he inside outs it. And watch the Asturias have to stop, plant, throw all the way over there, and it's bang at first base. Crow busting it all the way, just does beat the throw, and the Indians will take a 1-0 lead, and it's another first-inning run for Kevin Millwood.
Buck Showalter went out to talk to Brian Honora, the first base umpire. We've seen so many of those bang calls go against the Indians this year. But Crow's good hustle gets the Indians the early lead.
All 3 hits in the inning. Millwood has had the guys down 0-2 in a count. Crow was down 0-2 as well.
And Matt Laporta looks at a first pitch strike. 0 for 8 in the series. Laporta was swinging a hot bat through that Minnesota Twins series, but the O's have cooled him off. In tight. 1 ball, 1 strike. This will be the 25th pitch of the first inning here for Kevin Millwood. Indians at the corners with 2 down. And a ground ball routine for Brian Roberts at second. And the inning is over. But the Indians, with another 2-out RBI hit, have the early lead 1-0. Subway, play hard, eat fresh. By Continental Airlines, work hard, fly right. And by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. 1-0 Indians on top as we go to the second inning. And the middle of the Oriole order. Due up here, Luke Scott, Adam Jones, and Felix P.A. The Orioles DH 3 for 9 in the series with a home run. Close pitch, didn't get the call. Indians employ the three-man shift on the right side for Scott. And the pitch is outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Interesting, Marte shifts all the way away from third in the 2-0 count. Big bouncer to first. Laporta flips to Gomez for out number 1. Here's our great clip of the game, brought to you by Great Clips. Last night, Josh Tomlin, did he catch it or did it catch him?
Oh, it caught him, but he was able to maintain, hold on to the baseball, flip it to first for the double play.
Relax. You're at Great Clips. 1 down for Adam Jones. The Orioles center fielder, 2 out of 7 in the series.
You know, when they made that shift, I noticed, well, they had Marte at short and Cabrera over there, but when Nix was in there playing third base, they'd put him over on the second base side, leave Cabrera alone. And I wonder if it's because Cabrera has played second before and maybe more familiar to that side of the infield.
Well, I thought it was interesting that Marte shifted over on the 2-0 count. A lot of times you'll see on the 0-2 count they go over once they know he's not going to bunt.
Well, in that 2-0 count, he's not going to bunt either.
Yeah.
He's not looking at Trevor Crowe.
Asdrubal Cabrera on the run makes a fine throw across his body to retire Jones for out number 2. Browns training camp daily continues tonight at 11 on STO. Jim Donovan, Doug Deacon, and Andre Knott will have the updates from practice in Berea. More updates on Training Camp Daily. Just follow STO Browns on Twitter. Training Camp Daily tonight at 11 on STO. Felix P.A. with 2 down and the bases empty. Goes after the first pitch. And a fly ball to left will end the inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Birds. We go to the bottom of the second. It's 1-0 Cleveland. One zip, Indians on top, bottom of the second inning. Step right up and spin the wheel.
Free treat.
Jason Donald leading off. Bottom third of the Indians order due up here. Donald 1 for 3 in the series. Now a line drive, base hit right back up the middle. Second one of those we've had tonight. That one had some hair on it, though.
Yes, it did. I mean, he let that ball go, and the next thing you know, he was ducking his head. And he went right back up the middle. That ball just shoots off the bat. That's a low bridger right there. That is the fourth hit already now for the Indians.
Pitches outside to Andy Marte. Marte, 198 average, the 4 homers, 15 ribbies. And there's a line drive down the left field line. Fair ball into the corner it goes. Donald racing around second, on his way to third, and he'll get the stop sign there, and a good idea.
Yeah.
The Indians have runners at second and third with nobody out here in the second.
Awfully tough to score when it's down the line in the left field corner because you have 2 short throws. And PA gets over there and doesn't fumble it. Marte does a good job staying back, hitting that ball down the line. That's 5 hits, the first extra base hit. And you'll see, once you get to that ball, it's a short throw to the shortstop and a short throw home. So you got to hold up. But it's a great start to the second inning, second and third, and nobody out.
And it brings up Lou Marson. And he looks at a first pitch strike. In the dirt, good block by Wieters. So the Indians got a run on the first and now threatening to add to the lead here in inning number 2. Last night they were handcuffed offensively, but tonight coming out swinging the hot bats.
Well, they know. They've watched the Orioles do it the first 2 games. They realize, hey, we got to start doing it ourselves, boys.
Fouled out of play down the right side. Indians have already wrapped out 5 hits. In the dirt, another stop by Wieters. No one's keeping him on his toes back there.
Well, he's trying to get him to try and pull the ball. He doesn't want him to hit that ground ball to second base to get the runner in and over. So he gets ahead of him. He has had no problem getting ahead of hitters. It's putting him away he's had his problems.
And the 2-2 pitch is way outside, full count. Michael Brantley waiting in the on-deck circle. Millwood's payoff pitch, and Marson fouls it off.
Send along some birthday wishes. John Bantz of Huron is 85 today. John, happy birthday. Peter Gaughan of Mansfield is 79. And we want to send out a congratulations to Clifford and Esther McMullen of St. Cloud, Florida. 44th anniversary celebration tonight. So congratulations to you.
Second and third for the Indians. Nobody out here. Bottom 2. Kevin Millwood's 3-2 pitch. And Marson a chopper towards short. Cut off by Bell. He'll go to first for the out, but the Indians grab another run. Lead it 2-0. Marson's 14th run batted in on the year.
Well, Millwood stayed inside there and didn't let him go the other way with it to get that runner over from second to third. They do get the run home. But as we said a lot of times, his philosophy when you get into situations like this is minimize the damage. We'll see if he can do that.
Brantley looks at a pitch that's just a bit outside 1-0. Michael took an off-speed pitch and lined it back up the middle his first time up. Came around to score the Tribe's first run. A little bit outside. The numbers would suggest, and even though it's a small sampling, that he looks a little more comfortable this time around. He's 6 for 20 since getting called back on August the 8th. And again, it's a small sample, but
right.
He didn't have that much success almost the whole year combined. So you take it when you can get it.
Well, maybe, as you mentioned, he knows he's going to be here the rest of the year. He'll be leading off. He'll be playing center field. And maybe that's just a peace of mind that he can take with him or take to the ballpark every day and into that clubhouse. You know, I'm sure Manny sat him down and had a talk with him and said, look, you're going to go out there, you're going to play every day, so relax. Just be yourself. We know you can do it. They believe he can do it, and that's why he's back again for the third time.
2-1 pitch. And Brantley lines it towards center, but Adam Jones almost came in too far. Makes the catch. Marte has to hold at second. Well, he almost came in too far, and that thing nearly sailed over his head. But with 2 down, the Indians will look for another 2-out RBI hit from Asdrubal Cabrera.
This ball had a little carry to it. Jones didn't think it was going to carry that far, and it did. It stayed up. But he's able to, tall enough to just stick the glove up there and say, let me get it.
Good thing he's athletic enough to be able to make that play. Now Asdrubal Cabrera, who singled into right field his first time up. Wieters with another good block in the dirt.
Well, you see how these hitters now have changed today compared to what they were doing yesterday, where they were going early in the count, giving up some easy innings. Even though Millwood has been ahead, they're still getting their base hits, and they're making them work, and they're making them throw more pitches. They're not being as aggressive and putting the ball in play in the first 2 or 3 pitches.
Fouls it away. One ball, one strike. And there's a good pitch over the inside corner.
You know, Tommy's telling me 4 hitters already have had 5 or more pitches in their at-bats.
That's in the dirt again, and Wieters for the first time can't keep it in front of him. And down to third goes Marte. Sooner or later, the law of averages catches up to you as a catcher on those things. You do everything you can do to try to get your body in front of it, but sometimes you just don't know where that ball's going to kick.
And you don't know how it's going to come off that dirt. It went right off the end of his glove. He did everything in his power to try and save that. But there are 2 outs.
The 2-2.
Got
Hit him on the elbow. And so with Cabrera going down to first, that means Millwood will have to make more pitches. He's already up to 46 here in the game. And I'll bet while he doesn't show it, he's plenty frustrated.
Well, you try and go inside on Cabrera, and you see it just tips either the sleeve or the elbow or wherever it got him. It was barely. If you got to get hit, that's the way to get hit.
And that also means Millwood's got to face Shin-Soo Choo.
I would think a much tougher out here.
And while the Orioles have held him in check, he's just 1 for 10. They know every time he comes to the plate, he is a real threat. And a good fastball up and in. First and third with 2 down. 2-0 Indians here in the second. Chu with a ground ball to first. Wigington takes it to the bag and the inning is over. Drive tacks on a run. 2-zip through 2. See our Miller taste great in this moment. All right, so we've already had a number of fans check in, and our fans, Rick, as you know, our viewers, very astute baseball fans. And when I was talking about Ty Wigington, the story about him being the first Thai to hit home run since 1926, fans are quickly said, what about Ty Klein, who homered 6 times for the Indians? Well, it's one of those technicality things. Ty Klein's real name was Tyrone, whereas Ty Wigington's real name is Ty. It's not a nickname. It's not short for anything else.
It's amazing, isn't it?
To that end, I guess you could say the same thing about Ty Cobb, because it wasn't his real name Tyrus.
I believe so.
It was, yeah. Well, those little baseball oddities. Bottom third of the order here for Baltimore. Matt Wieters, Cesar Torres, and Josh Bell. Genmar Gomez missing down low. 2 balls, no strikes. Of course, Tommy Bowe, in between innings, told us everything we needed to know about Ty Klein.
He was at the plate in the 1970 series when Elrod Hendricks had that beef and Bernie Carbo was coming to home plate. Remember that? He was the hitter.
I just turned around. All I asked him, do you remember Ty Klein? Oh, yeah. 30 seconds later, we knew everything we ever needed to know about him. 2-1 pitch is down low, 3-1 to count.
He's got a 1-inning suspension against us.
Gomez behind in the count here in the 3-1. Bullseye, full count.
See, when you're facing a pitcher the first time, this is what you're looking for, to see what he does in counts 2-0, 3-1, what he may go to, what he may throw you. And it's a fastball right there. Wieters takes it.
And the payoff pitch is strike 3 called.
That's that inside part of the plate that we talked about.
Second strikeout for Genmar Gomez, both looking here tonight.
You watch it start at that hip, and it's got movement coming back over the plate. And so far, it's fooled a lot of the hitters, left-handers that he's faced. Bartolo Colon used to have a little bit of that ball that would run back at you. Started at your hip, except he threw a little bit harder.
Yeah. He can be 97, 98 miles an hour with that thing. Cesar Torres, 3 for 8 in the series. I want to go back to something you were talking about, though. As a player, Rick, you're saying first time around you're facing a guy, you see what he throws in certain counts. How do you keep track of all that mentally when you're facing so many pitchers? And a lot of them you don't even see that many times.
Well, you're playing Baltimore. You know this guy you're going to face for the first time. You watch how he faces everybody that's left-handed in that lineup going through the first time.
I know, but I'm saying, how do you catalog that in your mind and use it for down-the-road purposes?
Well, you worry about that the next time. You do it for tonight, and then unless you write it down, jot it down. But now they have video, and they've got everything.
That's true.
So it's tracked. You don't have to remember
That's
now.
A good
they
point.
have it documented
for you. Just call it up on the computer probably,
right,
or on the DVD that they have in the clubhouse.
These guys will take an at-bat, and if they're not going to hit the next inning, they can go up to the clubhouse and say, let me see that at-bat. What did he throw 2-0, 2-1? Yeah, I mean, they've got it all documented. Boom, boom, boom. It's right at their fingertips.
Ground ball foul wide of third.
You know, when we first started, or back over in the old stadium when we lost our good friend VJ, Video Joe, who just passed away, he was the first guy ever, and he was sitting behind home plate with his little camera, the video camera. It may take you a week to see that picture that you just faced. You know, and now you bring it up on the computer, you can see it
instantly.
Yeah, instantly. That's the difference in this game. It's beautiful. Great for these guys.
Payoff pitch. Popped him up on the infield. Out goes Cabrera, the shortstop, into shallow center. I guess it's similar to in football. You see those guys on the sidelines with those printed out photos so they can see the defensive alignment, know what to do, how they're going to adjust. Time now for the AT&T trivia question. AT&T, rethink possible. Since 1950, 3 American League players have won the Triple Crown. All right, we know Carl Yastrzemski because he's the last. His name comes up every time somebody gets close. So who are the other 2? Josh Bell bangs it foul.
Well, I know the last one done was in 1967, which we know.
Yep.
And there was one done the year before that, in 66.
Oh, yeah. Your guy, right?
No.
Frank Robinson? That's what I'm saying. Your guy. You played for him.
Oh, okay. Well, he's not my guy. I mean,
he's your guy. You played for him.
I didn't know what you meant.
The third one, I have no idea. It'd be I'd be throwing darts at a board.
I would.
Guess.
I'll let you know the other one.
All right.
In between innings. But I won't let the fans know.
2-strike pitch. They already know. Like I said, our viewers they're right on it.
Either that, they're going to get on their computer and find out.
That's cheating. Can't do that.
Well, then tell them.
23-year-old Josh Bell. Orioles have high hopes for this young man. He says, recently, I mean, he struggled like a lot of young players do. He says, I definitely have doubted myself a little bit. I'm not where I want to be, but I feel like I'm making strides towards getting there.
Well, that's the old phrase word is eliminate doubt from Frank Howard. That used to tell him as a hitting coach.
Ground ball to second base. Jason Donald throws out Bell. And the Orioles go 1-2-3, and Genmar Gomez has faced the minimum through 3. Of the third, Shelley Duncan, Trevor Crow, and Matt Laporta. Duncan looks at the ball down low. Duncan grounded to second base his first time up on a check swing. You had that big brawl the other night between the Reds and the Cardinals, and Shelley's dad called him afterwards, or maybe Shelley called his dad. Said, "Were you in the middle of that?" He said, "I sure was."
I expected him to be nowhere else but
he said, "Dad,
the eye of the storm."
He said, "Dad told him there were some cheap shots going down on the bottom of that pile." There's a high pop right field. Nick Markakis. One down here in the bottom of the third.
Well, Rock and Blast, Cleveland's award-winning fireworks multimedia extravaganza, returns tomorrow night and also Saturday, where you get twice the fireworks, the music, and excitement with a soundtrack featuring the classic rock legends you love. Tickets on sale now. Visit Indians.com or 216-420-HITS.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Bouncing ball towards second. Roberts covers a lot of ground. Quick flip, 2 down. Oh, we got some happy birthday wishes going out tonight to David Woodruff in Mentor. And also, special happy birthday wishes going out to Lily Jordan and her family. They're celebrating Lily's second birthday.
All righty. I'll bet they've already eaten the cake and everything right by now.
She's got it between her fingers, probably some in her hair. Matt Laporta grounded out to second base to end the first inning. Up high with a fastball for ball 1. Toronto ended Boston's 3-game win streak with a 6-5 win over the Red Sox earlier today. Boston started the day 5 games in back of the front-running Yankees in the East. Now the 1-1. Popped him up. Shallow right. Out goes Roberts. In comes Markakis. And the second baseman has it. And the Tribe goes 1-2-3 for the first time tonight. 2-0 Cleveland after 3. Top of the order for Baltimore here in the 4th inning. Genmar Gomez has made 38 pitches through the first 3 frames.
Well, this is where you keep your eye on Baltimore, because in the first 2 games in this series, in the first 3 innings, they've scored 1 run. 16 runs have been scored, in the last 6 innings. So that's when they've done their damage. And they will start their second time through, and Gomez has faced the minimum. And after the base hit by Markakis, he was able to get the double play, strike him out, throw him out back in the first inning.
Ryan Roberts looks at a ball up high. Good change of pace, had Roberts out in front of it. And this is, I guess, what you look for that second time through. Can he make some adjustments to keep the hitters off balance? Or at least give them a different look?
You know what he's done? He's changed speeds, and these guys were all over the fastball in the first game. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't matter. You have to change speeds and keep them off balance and move them back off the plate. So far, Gomez has been great. 4 ground ball outs, a couple of strikeouts.
There's a fly ball. Deep to left. Back goes Crow, racing back, and he pulls it down on the track. Hit it a long way, but that's out number 1. And now time for our Subway fresh face of the game. Matt Packer. Left-hander, 7 innings. Shutout baseball last night. He's pitched very well with Akron after getting the promotion from Lake County. Subway fresh face of the game. Subway, play hard, eat fresh. Also down on the farm, Rob Bryson, who was part of the package that came from Milwaukee in the Sabathia trade back in 2008.
He was recently named the best reliever in the Carolina League by Baseball America. On the year, he's now at AA Akron, 6-1 with a .297 earned run average. One ball, one strike. Nick Markakis, really part of the foundation for these Baltimore Orioles. Recently signed a 6-year, $66 million package that keeps him in an Orioles uniform. He has a ground ball, hard hit to short. Cabrera throws him out, 2 down.
Well, for half-off price student ID nights, you can get the Chew Crew Combo, which includes a lower reserve ticket and a special Chew Crew T-shirt. For half price, just $15. So stop by the Progressive Field box office to purchase your Chew Crew student ID night special today.
You know, the other interesting thing about the contract between Markakis and the Orioles, you see this more and more nowadays. At the end of the trade, or at the end of the deal, there are always options.
Right.
Usually they're club options. But there's a mutual option that would be in effect for the 2015 season should he continue to be productive at the end of that contract. Broken bat bouncer to third. Marte spins around, slings it over. And another 1-2-3 inning for Genmar Gomez. 2-0 Cleveland, middle of the fourth. So far tonight, one hit shutout baseball through 4 frames. Bottom third of the Indians order due up here, and this is the trio that added a run in the second inning. Donald singled, Marte doubled, and Marson got him home with a ground out.
Well, Donald singled, and it was right back over the head of Kevin Millwood, so he starts him off with a big slow breaking ball for strike one.
Swung on and missed. Got him to go fish. First strikeout for Kevin Millwood tonight. Well, so far this year, we've raised $5,460 for the Gathering Place, which helps individuals and family members who have been touched by cancer. Every time the tribe goes deep, Great Clips donates $50. Rick and I each chip in $5 per homer. You can log on to touchedbycancer.org to learn more about the Gathering Place or to make a donation yourself. Here's There's Andy Marte, who doubled into the left field corner his first time up. Fouled right back. That looked like a pitch that he'd love to have another crack at.
Well, I think you're probably right. He would. But, when you're not playing every day, and Andy's not doing that, it's tough for a hitter to go out and zero in on pitches, even though, you think you should hit them. It's awfully tough. I mean, you get out there, you're just looking for something in the strike zone to hit. And sometimes your strike zone can expand because you haven't been up there in a while.
Socks this one to the gap in left center field, dropping, and it will get in there for a hit. Marte a big turn, but he'll hold with a one-out single. That ball had some hang time on it. And with those speedy outfielders, I was surprised they didn't get to it, but it was just perfectly placed.
I was watching Jones, and I think he thought PA was going to get it. Didn't look like he was really running after that ball. I mean, there's a little slide piece. Watch him break. He's not going after the ball. Look at him cruising. He must have thought PA was going to get it. When you're a center fielder, you got to get after that ball and think you can catch everything. Right there, I didn't think he had good effort. Look at Millwood looking. I'm going to tell you something right there. He is upset at his outfielder, and rightfully so. Because from that angle, he did not get after the ball.
No, he's talking to himself. I think he realizes you're exactly right, Rick. He made that old assumption mistake.
I mean, when you're a center fielder, you're supposed to catch everything. Maybe the left fielder can think that of you, but I'll tell you what, you can't think that of the left fielder if you're a center fielder. There's no way that should happen.
Popped him up here. Ty Wigington in foul ground. 2 away. On this date in 1974, Nolan Ryan struck out 19 Boston Red Sox hitters. That's our legendary performance, brought to you by Cabot Wood Stains. And as happy as Nolan Ryan was after that game, he was equally as upset after the Rangers lost to the Yankees last night in excruciating fashion. They had the lead. They let the Yankees get the lead in the ninth inning, a couple of seeing-eye base hits, and then they got the leadoff guy to third base. Leadoff triple, and couldn't get him home.
If that was a precursor to what's going to happen possibly in the playoffs, that was a great game because Rivera, he hit the triple off Rivera.
Mm-hmm.
And Rivera got Michael Young, got Hamilton, and Guerrero. And they couldn't get him in from third base. And I'm going to tell you something, he was a magician, and they beat him the night before.
Well, and Cliff Lee pitched well. I think he had 11 strikeouts and 7 innings of work, didn't walk a batter.
Yeah, it was the first time he didn't go 8 innings, although he went in the 7th. He didn't go 8 innings I think since June.
Runner at first with 2 down. Michael Brantley 1 for 2. He singled and scored in the first, and he lined out to center his second time up. So he's hit the ball well in his first 2 ABs. Now it's 3-0. Goes right at him with a strike. Andy Marte is the runner at first with 2 down. Being held there by Wigington. Gives Brantley a hole to work with, but we've seen him as a guy who's really concentrated middle of the field, going the opposite way. But he pulls it through the hole that time. And Marte stops at second. So the Indians have 2 on with 2 out for Asdrubal Cabrera.
Second Indian with 2 hits tonight. Marte has 2, and now Brantley has a pair. When you get that 3-1 count, boy, you got the hole. You look for a good pitch you can drive. He just happens to hit this ball on the ground, but finds the hole. and that's because the runner stayed at first base. So now the Indians with 7 hits. And still a chance to score here with 2 outs.
And Asdrubal Cabrera has singled, and he's been hit by a pitch. This next toss will be number 70 for Kevin Millwood. After he hit Cabrera with a pitch in the second inning, he retired the next 5 in a row. But then Marte got the single that looked like it irritated Millwood a little bit because it wasn't caught.
Well, it should.
And a strike is called to even the count. Slow breaking ball, and that's going to go foul. Mentioned Kevin Millwood threw that no-hitter for the Phillies back in 03 against the Giants. And remember, that was a Giants team that was a year away from being in the World Series, a year removed from being in the World Series, and a team that featured Barry Bonds, who was 0 for 3 with a strikeout in that game. In that no-hitter, Millwood struck out 10 and walked 3.
Now, I don't care who you do it against, and you throw a no-hitter in the big leagues, and that's something special.
2-2 pitch. Popped him up. Going out, the shortstop is Torres. And the Indians strand a pair. 2-0 Tribe through 4.
McDonald's. New real fruit smoothies are now available in wild berry and strawberry banana flavors. By KeyBank. Stop in and start a conversation and unlock your possibilities. And by Panini's. Now open in Chagrin Falls, Solon, and Brunswick. Visit paninisgrill.com. Two 0 Indians on top as we go to the 5th inning. Luke Scott, Adam Jones, Felix P.A. for Baltimore. Orioles have 1 hit in the game. Indians, meanwhile, have 7 hits, but they've also stranded 6 men on base.
Well, that's how good Gomez has been tonight. Tonight, leading off an inning, Baltimore is 0 for 4. First 2 games, 10 for 17 with a walk, and they've scored 6 runs. So that has been the key, and there it is again.
Marte takes care of that. Tonight's five-star league leaders brought to you by the GMC Sierra. Never send a truck to do a Sierra's job. Since the All-Star break, Genmar Gomez second only to Gavin Floyd, who I believe he's pitching tonight.
I think you're right.
Floyd is going up against Francisco Liriano in that game between the White Sox and Twins. I'm sure Al will be along with an update on that one fairly soon. White Sox Twins tied heading into tonight's action atop the Central Division standings. Indians, meanwhile, deadlocked with Kansas City for fourth place. Both teams have lost 4 straight. I think Kansas City is hosting the Yankees. Yes, they are.
CC's going at them tonight. They've got to play 4 against New York and in Kansas City. And they will not face the big boy, Zach Greinke. He will end up probably pitching against us on Tuesday, I would think, if they're off Monday.
No balls, 2 strikes the count here on Adam Jones, who grounded to short in his first time up. Wide of the mark, 1-2. The 1-2. A little bit low, evens the count. We want to send out our hearty congratulations to our colleague Joe Tate, who tonight is being inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. The Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. He's receiving the Kurt Gowdy Media Award tonight.
Well, congratulations, Joe. Certainly well deserved.
Of course, Joe Tate called Indians baseball for 15 years, spending 7 years on radio and 8 years on television. Let's go back to the studios for this in-game update. Here's Al Pulowski.
All right, Matt, Rick, an important game in the National League West. The Padres up by 2 games, trying to increase it against the Pirates. Throwback day in San Diego. Miguel Tejada gets the first run home there. They get 2 more in the 6th on a Ryan Ludwig homer. 3-0 San Diego, 6th inning on the West Coast.
Felix P.A. flied to left his first time up. And that's down low, 2 balls and no strikes. And the 2-0 over the inside corner. Baltimore's done a lot of damage from the 4th inning on in this series. So even though Gomez flew through the first 3, he's not out of the woods yet, and that ball skips past Matt Laporta. Ruled a base hit for PA. And a 2-out single will bring up Matt Wieters. And PA looked like he was grabbing at his ankle, and the Baltimore trainer going to come out and have a look at him. Or maybe
let's check it out. It's his
looks
toe.
Like he was looking at his toe. You're right.
Coming out of the box, everything's fine right there. Unless he just, I don't know if he stubbed it or something got caught on it when he was breaking out of the box. He did the same thing in Baltimore when we were playing in there. He came out of the game with a leg problem.
That was a groin injury that I think knocked him out of action for a while.
Might have been a toe, turf toe.
Go ahead. I know you want to say it.
No, I don't. I do not.
Call a tow truck.
Not appropriate. It was something when he broke out. I don't know. His back foot. Watch his back foot. As he comes in after the base hit, he hits it hard. There, a little twist right there, a little ankle pop. See, and then he started hobbling.
Well, he's going to stay in there.
And he sits down and grabs his toe.
Yep. 2-out base runner, Matt Wieters, struck out his first time up. Remember, Wieters was in a 3-1 count in that first at bat. And Gomez came back to strike him out looking. With good consecutive pitches. Two balls, no strikes. 60 pitches on the night now for Genmar Gomez. And he's fallen behind him 3-0. You've got Cesar Torres waiting on deck. A lot of times he'll be taken all the way 3-0, but you never know for sure. And Wieters laces a single up the middle. Hit the mound and ricocheted past Cabrera, and back-to-back hits.
You let him go ahead and swing it, you know, down 2-0, a guy that could hit the ball out of the ballpark. This ball hits off the mound and jumps up. And Cabrera almost gets leather on it. So two-out singles here in the fifth inning.
Cesar Torres popped up in his only plate appearance tonight. Two on, two out. Tribe on top 2-0, but the Orioles trying to come back and spoil things here. A first pitch strike. And a liner towards center. Brantley closing hard, goes and makes the grab for out number 3. Good jump by the Tribe center fielder. He runs it down. And the Orioles are out here in the fifth. Still 2-0 Tribe. East 4th Street, just outside the ballpark. That's a happening area.
Yes, it is. I just drove past there yesterday.
Good restaurants. Comedy club. They got it all going down there. Bowling alley. Shin-Soo Choo leads off for the Tribe. Breaking ball in for a strike. He is 0 for 2 tonight.
Well, Kevin Millwood has done that a few times now, 2 or 3 times where he could drop that get-me-over curveball, strike one to some hitters.
Ooh! Oh, no.
Hand.
Choo is down, and he is hurting.
That's the hand.
In a season that has been filled with injuries for the Tribe, this is another guy that they can ill afford to lose.
Was that the helmet or the hand?
I think it got him right on the hand.
I do, too. That same hand. Was it the thumb? I hope not.
I think it hit him right on the back of the hand, to be honest with you. Judging by his reaction, it doesn't feel real good.
You're right
Did
on
that
top of
glance
the
off
hand.
his helmet? I couldn't tell it.
It's right there on the top of the hand. Oh, that didn't feel good. Anyway, just on top of his hand, that bottom hand, where he's trying to get out of the way, gets it right on the back side of it, right there on the middle knuckle. Yeah. And that bat, when you're holding that bat, that ball pushes that hand in, and it, there's no give there.
Second batter that Millwood has hit tonight. In his first 22 starts, he'd only hit a total of 3. Well, that's a good sign.
Yeah, Manny said something to him. That is a good sign.
Listen to this. Oh, man.
Almost sounded like it hit the helmet, but it.
That's what I thought. I mean, that first look, it almost like it glanced off the bill of his helmet, but
that was all
either way.
Hand under the bat. He's still looking down at that hand.
Well, let's hope that he's able to hang in there. Remember, that's the same. Or no, that was it the right?
Yeah, that's his hand that he dove on, the thumb.
It's the same, yeah. Shelly Duncan steps in, pops the first pitch up.
That may be tough to see out there today, boys. Keep running them out.
Ty Wigington grabs it. One down here in the 5th. This recap brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Trevor Crowe with a 2-out infield RBI single. Got the Tribe on the board first. They added a run on the second on this RBI ground out by Lou Marson. And it's 2-zip Indians. For a dealer near you, visit buyatoyota.com. Genmar Gomez to this point has made it stand up with 3-hit shutout baseball through 5. Here is Trevor Crowe. A little bit outside. Same pitch, same location, same call. 2 balls, no strikes. This next pitch will be number 80 for the Orioles right-hander. And that's drilled to center. Back goes Jones, still going back. It's over his head. It's near the base of the wall, coming around third. Choo will head to the plate, and he will score. Trevor Crowe delivers again. His second run batted into the night. And the Indians now lead it 3-0. Crow's 18th double of the season.
Well, he smoked this ball. And, I mean, he stayed on it. A breaking ball out over the plate. This is going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. An extra base hit. Short hops the wall. Chu read it very nicely from first base. Able to score all the way. Now, that's a little insurance, coming in that fifth inning. A great time to add on this 2-0 ball game. It is now 3-0.
Here's Matt Laporta now 0 for 2. This would be a great time to try and steal third if you can get the kind of jump that you need. And he was going, boy, it looked like he had a pretty good start, but he stopped.
Well, but remember, it's all a matter of that middle infielder holding you close at second. Roberts knows that. He's a base stealer. His job is to keep him over there and close. You're in scoring position. If you can steal it, fine, but it's when that middle infielder falls asleep is when you really go ahead and take advantage of it.
The 1-0. And Laporta couldn't hold up. 1 ball, 1 strike.
There you get a look from the side.
Ground ball to short. Torres will throw him out. 2 down now for Jason Donald, and we'll go back to the studio for an in-game update. Al has the latest on that battle for the top spot in the AL Central.
Hey, Matt, as usual, things are even early. First off, Orlando Hudson solo home run here for Minnesota to get them on the board. Then the White Sox strike back with an A.J. Pierzynski single in the bottom of the first. They're even at 1. Second inning now in Chi-Town.
All right, thanks, Al. Orlando Hudson, not a guy you expect to go deep, huh?
You're in Chicago. That ball flies out of that ballpark, and those two teams will meet up again for a 3-game series in Minnesota. A series after this one. Should be, what?
Next week.
Next week, yeah.
I think it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday again. The set on the pitch. And a strike is called. Well, Shin-Soo Choo looks like he's all right. Lonnie Soloff took a look at that hand. Ground ball to third. Bell throws him out. Indians tack on a run. Trevor Crow's RBI double has the Tribe in front 3-0. Hebrew National 12-ounce hot dogs, 2 packs for $5 at any Northeast Ohio Mark's location.
So come into your nearest Mark's, where you'll find a huge selection at low prices every day.
All righty. Genmar Gomez working on a 3-hit shutout as he goes into the 6th inning. He'll face the number 9 hitter Josh Bell, and then Brian Roberts and Nick Markakis. 37 of his 64 pitches have been strikes. The only trouble he had was in the 5th.
He's been
2
solid.
outs.
He's been solid. He has been outstanding again tonight. This is start number 4 in his young career. You know, his first start against the Tigers, you remember it was a spot start. He was going to go 1 time. He went 7 innings and was sent out after the ball game. His next 2 starts, he went 5 against Toronto on 3 days rest and pitched a nice game, got the win, and then pitched 5 1/3 against Minnesota, left with a 4-1 lead, only to get a no decision, although the Indians did win the ball game. So every time out, he's given his team a chance to win a ball game.
Scoreboard update brought to you by Wendy's. You know when it's real, Wendy's. Hit to center. Brantley going back way over his head. And Josh Bell is going to go into second base with a leadoff double.
Now we'll see what Baltimore can do. This is the first time tonight they've had their leadoff man aboard. This ball here now, he left a high changeup out over the plate. That's what it stayed up. It was 83 miles per hour, and Bell gives it a ride, hits it over the head of Brantley.
And Brian Roberts 0 for 2 will be the batter here. Ball 1 up high. I mentioned earlier Josh Bell has had his struggles. Interesting, you know, he said that he doesn't feel like he's pressing. And Buck Showalter said, I'd be okay if he said he was pressing. I'd rather have that than a guy who's thinking, no big deal.
Yeah.
He went on to say, I want these guys to have a sense of urgency. And that's probably a mindset, a team-wide mindset you want to have when you take over a club that's had the kind of season they've had.
But that's so hard for him to, I mean, he's just taking it over. He doesn't even know any of these guys. It's just like an introduction period.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's going to take a while for him to get to know them and them to get to know him.
On a 2-0 pitch, Brian Roberts pops it up to shallow left. You could hear his disgust as he went down the first base line. 1 down. Here's the answer to our AT&T trivia question. AT&T Rethink Possible. Yaz, Frank Robinson, and
the
Mickey Mantle. Well, there you go.
That's going to be so hard to do nowadays. Cabrera's close, Votto's close. But, you know, that Triple Crown is just tough to get. What's the toughest out of all 3? I mean, depends your style.
Yeah, exactly. I think that is the problem.
Josh Hamilton felt it was going to be RBIs for him. You know, because you got Guerrero around you and things like that, but they're all tough.
The 0-1 pitch.
Lead the league in 1, and you've done a great job.
Popped up near the seats and out of play. Well, that's what made Mickey Mantle, for example, I think so amazing, is that, you know, not only did he have that incredible raw power and could hit tape measure home runs, but that he could also hit for a high average, because it just seems that nowadays, if you hit for power, you have to give up average.
Yeah, well, Mickey Mantle could run, and he could fly. You know, he could bunt and get a base hit. He'd go down the line as quick as anybody until he hurt his knees. So he could hit for a high average. Like not many power hitters, if they've got power, they don't run. You know, let's look at, just for example, right now, Cabrera in Detroit. He can hit for power, but he doesn't run well.
So his batting average is going to be legit, whatever he hits.
Yeah, right. You don't see too many guys with power that can really run. Power that can lead the league.
The 1-2. Now Hamilton's a guy who obviously can run well. He's an outfielder, but he's not a burner like a Mickey Mantle, obviously. And then the other part of that Triple Crown, as you pointed out, the RBIs becomes a product of what kind of team is around you.
Yeah, how many guys get out in front of you? Exactly right.
Where you hit in the order.
Who's hitting behind you? You know, will they pitch to you all year long if you're a great RBI guy?
Full count. Had him down on the count, but he's back in it now. And the payoff pitch. Popped up foul again, out of play. Well, one thing we know for sure, this Baltimore Orioles club has played inspired baseball since Buck Showalter took over. They've won 8 out of 9 coming into tonight since he was named Orioles manager. You played on a team that had a pretty good spark after a managerial change.
Yeah, 1979. Good
Strike 3
pitch.
called. Third strikeout for Gomez. All 3 have been looking, and that's out number 2.
And, you know, they go inside to the left-handers, and it surprises them. He went right back in there, and it is a dandy. This is a big out for him because and he gets the call from Barksdale. Watch this ball come back. Right there.
Hitter gives up on it.
Yeah, and it's got that little tail to it at the end. See, he's talking to himself back there. He didn't think it came back enough to hit that strike zone. But he will shock you as a left-handed hitter.
Brings up Ty Wigington, 0 for 2. He was called out on strikes in the first, grounded out his last time up. So 1979, managerial change for the Indians.
You got rid of Dave Garcia. Jeff Torborg and Dave Garcia took over, and we won the first 10 games under Garcia starting in July 23rd. And outscored opponents 64-36 in that 10-game run.
Similar to what the Orioles have done here.
And it was just a combination of everything. But in those 10 straight games that they won back when we were in the Eastern Division, we picked up 2 games on the back, on the field. Yeah, in the standings.
Well, you see Justin Germano warming up. You mentioned the 10-game winning streak and swinging the bats well. You know Tom Bochenek looked it up. Your contribution to that 10-game winning streak?
I should have known he was. What was it? I was on the disabled list?
No. You actually hit .348 during that stretch. Driving in 6, scoring 8 in that 10-game win streak.
Look at him. He's up clapping now.
You were the spark plug, my friend.
Well, I just remember him taking over, and I've never seen a manager take over. He had a team meeting, and we ended up having a team fight. And it was led on by pitching coach Dave Duncan when Dave Garcia was talking. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing.
And you were still a young enough player at that point to think, what is going on here, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I was like 4 years in the big leagues. But, you know, when the manager's talking, as a player, you don't talk.
2-1 pitch. Somebody made the mistake, huh?
Yeah, someone made a mistake, and he just shouldn't have.
Dave Duncan put him in his place.
Said, he shut up. It was actually pretty cool. Everybody knew where they stood after that meeting, I'll guarantee you that.
And you went out and won 10 straight. 3-1 the count to Ty Wigington. Line back up the middle, right through Gomez. Coming around third to score is Josh Bell. And the Orioles are on the board with a 2-out RBI single from Ty Wigington. It's a 2-1 ball game.
Wow, that was A good swing, good at bat by Wigington. He went right back up the middle and made that adjustment, and you see Gomez had to get down. Watch this swing. Right back inside out. He had his glove up there, man. He just missed that ball. I didn't realize he was that close to it. He just didn't know where it was at. But now Baltimore is on the board here in the 6th. 3-1 ball game for Wigington, his 61st RBI.
And now Luke Scott 0 for 2 is the batter. Now, interesting, as he starts the at-bat this time, Marte has shifted all the way over to the shortstop position. Remember his last time up,
waited
early in the at-bat, he hit a little dribbler over to the normal third base position, and he threw him out.
Well, they're thinking maybe he's going to try and tie the game here. He's not going to try and get a base hit and go the other way unless the ball's out over the plate.
This will be his 20th pitch of the inning for Gomez. And it's 2-0, and he's fallen behind a number of hitters, and they're not letting him off the hook for it now.
Well, see, this is where Tim Belcher's going to come out, and that's, you're going through the third time of the lineup now. And, this is where these guys got to keep a close watch on the young pitchers. Going through that third time, that now he's thinking, now I've really got to get that pitch in there instead of just relaxing and letting it go and letting it take its natural movement.
3-1, Indians lead it. They got a run in the first on a 2-out RBI single from Trevor Crowe. They added a run in the second on the RBI ground out from Marson. And then Trevor Crowe with an RBI double in the 5th. But now Baltimore on the board, tying run at the plate with 2 out here in the 6th.
Manny's hoping that he can get through just this hitter right here. And I think he'd be very satisfied.
This will be his 85th pitch of the night coming up right here. Well, a good pitch
nice
there.
Change
he was
up.
Sitting on the fastball.
Sure he is.
Change of pace got him out in front.
He's a dead red hitter, and that's what you have to do to these guys. They're thinking, all right, here's a rookie. I'm going to get a fastball on this count. Well, whatever Tim Belcher said, go ahead, just relax and pitch. Don't forget to pitch in here. And he threw a nice changeup 2-0, had Scott way out in front.
And the 2-1.
Came back with the same pitch.
Took it for a strike, and the count evens up.
See, that's where maybe a minor league hitter will go ahead and try and swing at that pitch. See, he was looking fastball again, didn't get it. So a major league hitter, they take that pitch. And they're going to say, okay, now do it again. They're going to make you do it instead of giving you easy outs with pitches that they're fooled on.
Especially after they've seen you a couple times, and
right.
now they've got a better feel
now
for
they've
what's
got
coming.
a little book for you.
Rounded into the teeth of the shift. It's Laporta
Good
with
job.
a backhander. Tags the bag, and Gomez gets out of the 6th. The Orioles get on the board, but the Tribe is in front 3-1. 3-1, Indians on top, bottom of the 6th inning here at Progressive Field. Tribe will send Andy Marte, Lou Marson, and Michael Brantley to the plate. And a curveball hangs up high. Marte sends a high drive, deep left field. PA's looking up at the base of the wall, and he comes back to grab it. Just ran out of steam, didn't it?
Yes, it did. I thought he got enough of it. Maybe he hit it a little bit off the end.
Our Miller tastes great in this moment. 1997 American League Championship Series, Game 3, Omar Vizquel with the squeeze bunt. He misses the ball. The Indians score the winning run. The Orioles protest that he fouled the ball off. Davey Johnson looking for an explanation. He would get none. And the Indians would win the ball game. Lenny Webster behind the plate there for Baltimore.
I remember that well.
That was one of the most bizarre endings to a playoff game, you know. It was. Did he? What? Here,
yeah, I know.
Nobody knew what happened. Did he bunt it? Did he
foul it off? Exactly right.
Is it over? Did we win it? Yeah. Get out of here. There's a fly ball to right, routine for Markakis. 2 down.
Well, Sunday is Kids Fun Day, and you can save big with the KYC Summer Sunday $3 Kids Fun Day offer. If you buy an adult ticket, you get up to 2 tickets for kids 12 and under for just $3 a piece. Call all kids, plus all kids 12 and under get a mustard hot dog plush doll. That'll all take place Sunday.
Tim Belcher talking it over with Genmar Gomez. Looks like his night is over. Left-hander Rafael Perez in the Tribe bullpen heating up. And Michael Brantley takes a strike. It's 0-2. Brantley 2 for 3 tonight. 2 singles and a run scored. Now left-hander Perez heating up. Just missed inside with it. Breaking ball, and he yanks it into center field again. It's almost a replay of his hit back in the first inning. Just waits back on it.
Well, you know, he keeps his hands back, and it is. It's exact same pitch. It was a curveball that stays low, but Michael stayed down, and he keeps his hands back, and he just serves it right back up the middle. There it is. Nice swing. He's got 3 hits tonight, 3 of the 9.
Well, I mentioned earlier in the telecast about it's a small sampling, but he looks a little more relaxed than his last 9 games since he was recalled from Columbus.
Yeah, I agree with you.
As Drupal Cabrera.
Well, here's the sampling, though. I would like to see him do or try when you have a lead going. I'd like to see him go.
Yeah, he read your mind, and he's in there easily.
Got a 2-run lead. Let's be a little aggressive. Let's see if he can steal bases at this level. I mean, if you're going to be a leadoff hitter, you're going to have to run at some point in time.
Another look at that stolen base, courtesy of Saucony Shoes, dedicated to inspiring every runner every day. At Saucony, we run. So his 3rd stolen base has him in scoring position with 2 down for Cabrera. And his Drupal with a 2-0 count.
See, now instead of sitting at first, you're in scoring position. You got a chance to add if Cabrera can get a hit. And that's a perfect time to try and get a stolen base. And even if you're thrown out, then, you know, Cabrera comes back and leads off next inning.
Talking about Michael Brantley, since he got called back, he has 8 hits and 23 at-bats. That's a .348 average. And he has scored 7 runs also. So that's
the key right there. If
Being
you're
the
going to lead
leadoff
off,
guy,
is scoring runs is your main thing. Getting on base, giving guys opportunities, applying pressure to the defense.
The 3-1 pitch. And it's ball 4. So 2 on, 2 out, and Shin-Soo Choo will bat for the first time since he was hit by a Millwood pitch in the 5th inning. Rick Kranitz, a pitching coach, going to come out for a visit. Well, we just inducted one of the best leadoff hitters we've ever seen, Kenny Lofton, into the Indians Hall of Fame.
Yes,
there was nobody better at getting on base, creating distractions for the pitcher. And I'm not saying Michael Brantley's going to be Kenny Lofton, but that has to be part of his game.
Remember what Kenny used to say is mindset. If you're a leadoff hitter, you can have no fear. You've got to get after it, and you can't be afraid. You've got to go, and you've got to do things. And that's what your team is counting on you to do. I mean, especially when you're in that leadoff hole, so you take the bull by the horns and you go with it, and you run with it. I mean, you've got nothing to lose. You're in a great situation and a great opportunity here to do that.
And the other thing, too, you think about Lofton, is that he was never intimidated by the fact that he had a great lineup hitting behind him. There are some guys who maybe don't want to run because they're afraid of making it out with big hitters at the plate. Kenny was never afraid of that.
Sometimes you have to run because the big hitters aren't going to hit. So, you know, speed never has a slump is what they say. But you have to find out if you can do it at this level.
Once Mike Hargrove gave him the green light, he was off and running.
Well, it doesn't come overnight. It comes in time, and it comes with patience. And
I was going to ask you that, Rick. At what point in Michael Brantley's career does he get the eternal green light? Does it take a year, a couple of years?
No, it doesn't take the years to get the green light. It takes you a while to get to know the pitchers and their moves.
Wigington takes it himself, and the inning is over. Through 6. Tribe leads it 3-1.
More of what's possible at ATT.com. AT&T Rethink Possible. Buy the Sierra from GMC. Never send a truck to do a Sierra's job. And by Wendy's. You know when it's real. Wendy's.
All right, now we go into the 7th inning, and Rafael Perez is hot in the bullpen, so he's ready if needed. But Genmar Gomez comes out for the 7th inning. He's at 87 pitches. Now you've got a right-handed hitter, then the left-handed hitter, Felix Pié, and then 4 switch hitters after that. So we'll see how Manny Acta decides to play this.
He may be on for one hitter right here. It's my guess. You know, you're not going to let the kid go out there, and if he gets on, you're not going to let him go any farther, and hopefully you can get him out. Because last inning they got their leadoff man aboard, and eventually they did score.
Bunt, third base side. Marte, bare hand grab and throw. Not in time. Jones' speed enables him to beat it out. Marte gave it a heck of an effort.
Yes, he did. He did everything in his power to make that play. It was a good bunt and good speed. Look at, he was back, and he came in with everything he could. He gets it on, and it's a bang-bang play, and that's going to do it. Second straight inning, they get their leadoff man aboard. That's a heads-up play by Jones to get on base.
Fifth hit allowed by Genmar Gomez. Sixth hit allowed by Gomez. And that will send him to the showers here tonight. Tribe on top, 3-1.
In the top half of the seventh inning, the Orioles with one man aboard. Perez will be on. But the Indians take on the Seattle Mariners this weekend, and when you buy a $5 footlong at a participating Northeast Ohio Subway restaurant, you'll receive Wahoo Bucks, good for $5 off lower and upper box tickets to all three games.
This pitching change brought to you by H.H. Gregg. Rafael Perez for the 51st time this year. 27 strikeouts, 17 walks, and 42 and a third.
Perez was outstanding last night for an inning and a third. Gave up just one hit and had a strikeout. Did a very nice job coming in. As you mentioned, you're going to get the left-hander, and then you have a bunch of switch hitters.
You know, Rick, I hadn't really noticed it until I glanced at that graphic, but all of a sudden Rafael Perez is on pace to pitch maybe close to 80 games this year.
Well, he's been called upon. He's the guy that, you know, that's the man Manny goes to when he's in jams or in trouble. You come to Perez.
First pitch strike to Felix P.A., who is 1 for 2 with a single. Glances off the bat foul on a check swing. The Yankees out in front of Kansas City 3-0 in the fourth at Kauffman. Twins lead the White Sox 3-1 in the third at U.S. Cellular. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Just thinking about Lou Marson. You put that slider sign down and you set up where you think it's going to go. But sometimes with Rafael Perez, he can have a lot of movement on that pitch. So you hope you set up in a spot where it gives you a chance to get it no matter where it ends up.
Well, you're going to set up for that slider down and away, and hopefully he's going to try and hit it on the ground or get it off the plate. He left that one up and in. He's going to go away.
Rounded to second. Donald gets one there. Cabrera on the turn. Can't get the speedy PA. It looks like he's fully recovered from the toe jam he suffered earlier in the game. 1 down, a runner at first. Later tonight, stay tuned for Chuck's Last Call, presented by PNC Bank. Chuck Galletti will take your calls and emails right after we wrap up the Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care postgame show. Chuck's Last Call, presented by PNC Bank, tonight after the game here on STO. The set and the pitch to Matt Wieters, a switch hitter from the right side. 1 for 2 tonight from the left side. Pop back out of play. After the Chuck's Last Call wraps up, training camp daily tonight, Jim Donovan will go one-on-one with Jerome Harrison, excuse me. And Doug Deacon, the old left tackle. They'll talk about the offensive line. And they'll also start to preview the Browns' first preseason game. It's coming up this Saturday against Green Bay.
Yes, indeed. It's here, isn't it? Well, we're already in the middle of August, Matt. Believe it or not. School starts in another, 10 days or so?
Yeah. I was driving over here on the west side the other day and happened to go past St. Ignatius High School, and Chuck Kyle had them all out there going through the paces of two-a-days.
There you go.
St. Ignatius Wildcats and high school football and STL will be back this fall, so you're right. It's that time of year. Baseball pennant races are starting to heat up. And the Indians, while they're not in it, will have some meaningful games down the stretch against both the Twins and the White Sox that will certainly be fun to watch. 1 on, 1 out. Tribe up 3-1 here in the 7th. 0-2 pitch, fouled back. Wieters has gone 3 for 10 in this series, and he's got good power. 9 home runs on the year, and he hit one of those homers in the series opener.
Better from the left side of the plate, though. Out of his 9 home runs, 2 of them have come from this side of the plate.
The 0-2. Swung on and missed. Perez gets the strikeout, 2 down.
Well, let's look at Genmar Gomez and his night. I mean, you get a strike him out, throw him out on a perfect execution, a pitch away. And he's got some pretty good movement on his pitches. I mean, you can tell by the way hitters approach him, and especially the left-handers. He was very good. That little sinking fastball away, he can pitch him inside. He can get into the right-handers. I'll tell you, for 4 starts, what we've seen from Gomez, he's been very good.
Well, you talked about his movement. All 3 of his strikeouts were called thirds tonight. Cesar Torres chased a pitch there, it looked like, fouls it away.
You know, he's one of these guys that you say, wow, that's not bad. I want to see him his next start.
Yep.
Well, I've been doing that for 4 starts, and I keep saying it. Well, I can't wait to see him at his next start. You know, now I don't know where he sits in this situation where he pitched in the minor leagues and how many innings he had and, you know, what his threshold's going to be this year, because the Indians may have a few pitchers like that to begin with, where they're just going to have to maybe go to a 6-man rotation or skip some people.
Yeah, I would imagine that Manny Acton, Tim Belcher will look at the month of September with the off days and with, potential September call-ups, and they'll try to work around their schedules by maybe skipping a guy.
Right.
Or give him an extra day or two between starts.
Because he's 116 innings in the minor leagues, and he's gone up to about 23 innings here at the big league level. So, that's 100 and almost 40 innings. We'll see, but I'll tell you what, I like what I see from that young man.
Now the 0-2 pitch to Esturiz. Chops it foul. Now the unfortunate thing this year is that down below, a couple of guys that the Indians I know had high hopes for, and that we saw one of them already in the big leagues, and that's Carlos Carrasco, but he's been slowed by some elbow issues, and Hector Rondon has been hurt for a lot of the season. So there's two guys that maybe would have had opportunities to pitch in the big leagues this year, but sidetracked by injury.
Got him.
The ball got away from Laporta, though.
Boy. Yep.
And PA, who never even moved, he knew he was a dead duck.
Yes, indeed. He stopped right there, and then with the short hop, Laporta couldn't find the handle, and that's where PA said, I think I'm going to sneak in the back door. I'm going to go back home. Oh, there it is. Didn't pick it. Let me get back in, and is he lucky. I mean, even though the guy's down 0-2 in the count, you're tying runs at home plate. You can't get picked off. He was.
He was just frozen.
And he wasn't going anywhere.
No, he was just locked up.
Rigor mortis set in.
2-strike pitch is grounded to third. Marte, long throw across. Laporta digs it out nicely. So he makes up for it right there, and the inning is over. And a nice job by Rafael Perez coming out of the pen. Stretch time in Cleveland, 3-1 Tribe. Panini's, home of the overstuffed sandwich, with 3 new locations now open in Chagrin Falls, Solon, and Brunswick, coming soon to Twinsburg. Log on to paninisgrill.com for a list of locations. Kevin Millwood, just over 100 pitches on the night, will come out to start the bottom of the 7th inning. Shelley Duncan 0 for 3. And a fastball strike. Right back to the screen. There's the line now and the 2-strike pitch to Duncan. You know, it seems a lot tonight, Rick, with Kevin Millwood's breaking ball. He's either bounced it or he's hung it a number of times.
Well, you'd rather bounce it, you know, and see if you can get guys to chase it. You certainly don't want to hang them.
One ball, 2 strikes to count here on Shelley Duncan. Down the line on the 1-2. Missed outside with it. That evens the count up. Kevin Millwood was traded by the Rangers to Baltimore in exchange for Chris Ray. And then the Rangers turned around and traded Chris Ray in July to the Giants for Benji Molina. Full count. Chris Ray is a guy who, remember, early in his career had pretty good stuff.
Nasty.
Hard thrower.
Yeah, he was very nasty until he had the surgery.
Big bouncer to short. Torres slings it over. One down here in the bottom of the 7th. Back to the studios. Another in-game update. Al Pulaski has the latest from KC. They're battling the they're battling the Yankees tonight.
That's right, Matt. The Yankees trying to stay in first place. They're up by a game and a half. And how about old friend Austin Kearns? His first homer as a Yankee right here in the 4th inning. It was a solo shot. It's 3-1 now. New York leads KC. They're heading to the 5th at Kauffman Stadium.
Okay, thanks, Al. It was Austin Kearns who made that nice running catch in right field in that 9th
Michael
inning.
Young, yeah. Yes, it was.
Trevor Crowe takes a strike. Well, it was interesting. I'm sure there were a lot of people that raised their eyebrows. He maybe even chuckled a little bit when they saw Trevor Crowe batting 5th in the Indians lineup tonight. But he's responded with a couple of RBI hits.
No, I'm thinking that Manny put him there because he can swing the bat with runners in scoring position. I mean, he's, at least when you look at his numbers, he's been able to do that. And he drove Crowe in with that double in his last at-bat. So, I mean, you have minimal options here, you know, and you have to try some things. He's a switch hitter. You know, Laporta's been struggling a little bit at the plate. Duncan's not your typical 4th hitter, so, you know, don't be surprised by what you see. You got to give him opportunities.
Crowe pulls one to right field, right at Markakis. 2 down.
Well, meet a current Tribe player and watch the Indians from the field with Batting Practice Extra. You can choose from 3 different packages. Options include Progressive Field Fun Money or dinner on the in the Terrace Club. Batting Practice Extra is available for select games. 216-420-HITS.
Matt Laporta 0 for 3 tonight. Hitless in the series, 0 for 11. Kevin Millwood about to make his 112th pitch of the night. Fastball low and away. It will be interesting to see after the season what ends up happening with a guy like Kevin Millwood, veteran guy who's been around, popped him up. It's the last year of his contract. Wigington has it, and the Indians go 1-2-3. We go to the 8th. It's 3-1 Cleveland.
by the authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
(3-1) Tribe on top, 8th inning. Rafael Perez, who came on to get all 3 outs in the 7th, will stay on to start the 8th. It'll be switch hitting Josh Bell, switch hitting Brian Roberts, left-handed hitting Nick Markakis due up. Tribe gets Joe Smith up in the bullpen. Down low for ball 1. Bell doubled and scored back in the 6th. That's the only run of the night so far for Baltimore. Foul that off his foot, and it's 1-1. There is Joe Smith loosening for the Tribe. You figure, should Ty Wigginton come to the plate here in the 8th, he'd be due up 4th. That's probably who Smith would be coming on to face. Fouled out of play. I thought this was an interesting comment. And again, Bell's a young player. He's 23 years old, and he's trying to learn on the job like a lot of young players. And he said, I think there have been pitches that I could have hit this year, and I haven't done it. When I look at it on the video, I'm just not doing it how you're supposed to be doing it. I know that I can hit, but I'm trying to work on some things with the video and see what I can do to change it. Grounds it to third. Marte near the bag, throws off balance, and he got him for out number 1. Seems like a very conscientious young man who's maybe overthinking it at times,
well,
which is a common mistake too, I'm sure. Sports Time in Ohio. Sports Time Ohio and McDonald's are giving you the chance to attend the Indians game September 23rd and visit us here in the STO broadcast booth. Register now at stohd.com. Brian Roberts 0 for 3 tonight. Roberts grounded to second base his first time up. Since then, he has flied to left twice. First time, though, tonight he's batted from the right side. Checked his swing, fouls it away, and it's 0-2. So he really swung the bat well in the first 2 games of the series. And tonight, give credit to Genmar Gomez, because it all stems from the starting pitcher, the guy on the bump.
Well,
he's had Roberts a little bit in between.
They look like
swings.
a different team tonight.
Yeah.
Because of those. Yeah, that's exactly right. They have done a good job. I mean, they came in here the first night and they were just in line drives all over this dance hall, and they, you know.
Tapper just by the mound. Cabrera has to hurry, and he got him. Well, a spectacular play by Asdrubal Cabrera, who had not a moment to spare with Roberts hurrying down the line. I thought once it got past Perez, it would be an infield hit as fast as this guy is.
From the right side of the plate, and that's the difference. It's bang, bang. If he was going from the left side of the plate, he's safe. He's hitting from the right side, he's out. Look at that. That's the difference on the side of the plate that you hit from.
So 2 down for Nick Markakis. And how about this? Rafael Perez has thrown 20 pitches tonight, 18 strikes.
Wow. He did a great job last night. We were talking before the game, and I said he really did a nice job, and he's back in here tonight again, looking to go 2 innings. Well, I would expect him to be on the shelf tomorrow night.
And again, you're talking about a guy who's on pace now to appear in at least 70 games this year. Now, certainly that could change depending on how things go. But
well, the way these games are going and the Indians are playing, he could be used every night if his arm would let him. I mean, he has made a remarkable recovery from the first 2 months of the season in April and May, where he had an ERA of over 8, to the month of June, where he didn't allow an earned run.
The 1-1.
But the key is when you say he threw 18 out of 20 strikes, that's it. You never see him that sharp, where he's pounding the strike zone. A lot of times his ball goes all over the place, and you rarely see him throw that many strikes.
Two-one delivery in the air to center. Brantley has it measured, and he makes the catch. What a terrific outing by Rafael Perez out of that Tribe bullpen here tonight. And we go to the bottom of the 8th, 3-1 Cleveland. Bottom of the 8th here at Progressive Field. Tribe with a 2-run lead. And Baltimore goes to its bullpen for the first time tonight. Jason Birkin, right-hander, coming on in relief of Kevin Millwood, who went 7 innings tonight, allowing the 3 runs.
Birkin
9 hits.
Appearing for the 41st time this year. He struck out 45 in his 61 2/3 innings, giving up 62 hits. It'll be Donald, Marte, Marson, the hitters that Birkin will face.
And Jason Donald goes after that first pitch, fouls it back. Up high. 1-1 to count here. Jason Donald singled and scored back in the 2nd inning. Jason Birkin was born in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Wow, that's not too big up there, is it? Think he's a Packers fan?
Well, I'm looking here to see how long he might have even lived there, though.
Oh, he was just born there?
Yeah, I'm not sure. He went to Clemson and was a 6th-round pick of the Orioles back in 06. In fact, he helped Clemson reach the College World Series. He was the team captain in 06. Bouncing ball is short. Isturez on the run, throws out Donald for out number 1. Well, Andy Marte getting the start tonight. He has helped the Tribe on both sides of the ball, as they say. Doubled in the second, and then he sent a towering single that dropped in left center in the fourth. But defensively, he's made some nice plays as well.
I'll tell you what, he's been much better defensively lately. Had that bunt play, you remember, almost made a beautiful play on that ball. I'd have to say right now, Andy Marte is probably the best third baseman that we have here. Because the third baseman, since Peralta is gone, have made 4 errors in the 13 games.
There's a bullet to
Ouch.
third. Ricochets off Josh Bell. So one third baseman sends a rocket at the other. And Bell looking at his hand, making sure all his digits are still there.
That gets on you in a hurry. That'll go as an error. Watch this. Ouch, that went off his bare hand, not the glove. That ball came up and ate him up.
So the error has a runner at first with 1 out for Lou Marson.
Look at him, right off his thumb. Now you got to sit up there and say, God, I hope the next one don't come to me because I'm going to have to throw it.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Now this is where you bunt down the third baseline.
Instead, Marson sends a high fly ball to right center. Oh, man, Jones almost let that one fall free, but Markakis was there to grab it. In fact, it was Jones who peeled off, but it didn't look very good. And I know that drives you crazy, the former center fielder that you are. You like to see the center fielder take charge on everything.
If you can catch the ball, I mean, that's usually your rule of thumb. And if you're going to be out there every day, which Jones is. Now, if you're going to be out there and you're an all-star, go after the ball, man. Take it away from the right fielder. I don't see him calling for it. He's not being aggressive. You have to be aggressive if you're going to be a center fielder.
It did look like he was calling for it.
Then take it. That guy will move out of the way for you. He was unsure. That's why Markakis took it. He wasn't sure he was going to get over there and take it.
Michael Brantley with a runner at first and 2 down. And, hey, let's face it, Markakis saw what happened earlier in the game on the ball to left center field, so he's not taking any chances out there. Michael Brantley with a big night, 3 hits and a run scored. 0-2 the count. Number of different ways to experience Browns football this season, whether you're looking for season tickets, group tickets, hospitality, or luxury suites. Call 440-824-3434 or visit clevelandbrowns.com/tickets to get in the game. Skipped in there. One and 2 the count. 14,533 paid attendance tonight. Those here trying to see the Tribe snap a 4-game losing streak. Jason Birkin with a 1-2. Slashed foul out of play. And Birkin is yet another name on that long list. Guys who come back from Tommy John surgery. He had it when he was in college.
I'd be curious to see a percentage of all Major League pitchers that have had Tommy John surgery.
1-2 pitch. Oh, that hit off the front leg of Brantley. What would you guess it would be? At least a third?
Oh, gosh. I would think yes. I would say more than that.
Really?
I would be just a guess. I would think so because it seems like everybody we talk about has had it. I mean, whether it's in college or it's out of college or in the minor leagues and they get to the pro ball, I would venture to say more.
Mark Hendrickson loosening in the Tampa bullpen. Or, excuse me, the Baltimore bullpen. Thinking about him being with Tampa.
I know.
The 1-2 delivery. Brantley. Sandy Alomar had to go down into the catcher's crouch to avoid that one. Talking to Sandy Alomar before the game today, and speaking of that Tommy John and all the pitchers that have had it, we were talking about Alan Embry. I don't know why his name came up, but he was another guy that had Tommy John surgery early in his career, and yet he was still pitching as of last season with Colorado.
That was amazing because he was up here in about 94, 95.
He made his major league debut in 1992. He was 22 years old and hung him up after last year at the age of 39, although I thought he was in camp with somebody this year even. Up high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. But Alan Embry, boy, he was a left-hander who could bring it.
This is Brantley's 5th plate appearance tonight, and he has seen 25 pitches. Has 3 hits. So he is a patient guy.
Pitch outside. Full count.
Got a head start now.
Just to follow up on that Alan Embry deal. He went to camp with the Boston Red Sox this spring. And then also pitched for the White Sox in the minor leagues. But I think he hung him up after the White Sox released him at the end of May. All right, here we go. Marte takes off. 3-2 pitch, slashed foul. Oh, I know why I was talking to Sandy about that. We were talking about the Kenny Lofton trade, and he forgot. I told him, I said, you remember Alan Embry went with Kenny to Atlanta for Marquise Grissom and David Justice. He had forgotten that Embry was part of that trade.
I gotcha.
And we were talking about, I said, there's a guy who never had any injury. He said, no, he had Tommy John surgery. I'm like, wow. Liner down the left side, out of play. I wonder if somebody has that statistical information somewhere. I'm sure somebody does, huh?
I would think so. You could find it, somehow. I would have to say it's in the 40%. Maybe 50.
Here's the payoff pitch. And a ground ball in the hole. It's a base hit. Marte will go to third. And Michael Brantley keeps the inning alive with his 4th hit of the night. All 4 singles. He's pulled 2 through the right side. And he sent 2 right up the middle into center field.
Yeah, he had a good at-bat, and he's seen a lot of pitches tonight, and he's able to turn on it, gets a head start, does Marte.
Second time in the young career of Michael Brantley that he's had a 4-hit night.
Was it with Detroit or against Detroit he had that first? Kansas City.
All right, so runners first and third with 2 down now is Drupal Cabrera. Oh, that was a close play at first. Pretty good move by Birkin there. As Drupal tonight 1 for 2. He's been hit by a pitch and he has also walked. There's a line drive base hit into left field. That'll bring home Marte. Cabrera delivers another 2-out RBI knock for the Tribe. 4-1 Cleveland. And so tonight the Indians brought their hitting shoes. 11 hits in the ball game. And they tack on a big run here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and that's going to be it for Jason Birkin. Cabrera goes the other way, and Birkin heads to the dugout. We've got a timeout here at Progressive Field. Indians lead it by 3. They've got 2 on with 2 out. A run already in the inning. Shin-Soo Choo will be the batter, and that's why Buck Showalter goes to the left-hander Mark Hendrickson.
Well, not an overpowering left-hander. We have seen him once in the series already. Control guy, can throw a lot of strikes. But Choo doesn't mind left-handers. There's a couple more runners out there that they'd love to pick up. The Indians with 4 on the board. They have 11 hits.
Mark Hendrickson started his Major League career with Toronto. Also pitched for Tampa, the Dodgers, the Marlins, and now in his second season in a Baltimore uniform. Popped up, back out of play. Left-handers 1-1 pitch. And it's a called strike. Choo just 1 for 12 in the series. But he was hit by a pitch in the 5th inning, and that cost Kevin Millwood a run when Trevor Crowe doubled home Choo. Swung on and missed. We'll go to the 9th. It's now Cleveland 4, Baltimore 1. "4-1 Indians lead it here as we go to the 9th inning, and Chris Perez will try to close this one out and end the 4-game losing streak for the Tribe, and in the process avoid the sweep. Baltimore came in here and they hadn't swept the Indians in Cleveland since 1987. 97-mile-an-hour fastball for the right-hander. Ty Wigington drove in the only run of the night for Baltimore with a 2-out RBI single in the 6th. Bouncing ball to short. Cabrera on the move. Throws him out, 1 down. Stick around right after the ball game for the Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care post-game show. We'll have the highlights, talk with one of the heroes from tonight's ball game, and we'll get you set up for A weekend series between the Tribe and the Seattle Mariners. Our old friend Carl Willis, the new pitching coach for Seattle, will be in town. Part of that shakeup with the Mariners. They fired everybody, didn't they?
Boy, they're going to have a lot of new faces. We haven't seen them on. Well, we haven't seen them this year.
Yeah, come to think of it, you're right.
Because we go to Seattle in early September, so this will be the first time we face the Mariners. How about that?
Luke Scott 0 for 3 tonight. Fouls are right back. Of course, it's always great to see Jeff Datz, longtime member of the Indians organization.
18 years in this organization for being let go at the end of last year. And you don't know if he will remain in Baltimore with Showalter coming in now, third different manager this year.
Strike called, 1 ball and 2 strikes is the count on Scott. Yeah, it's got to be an awkward situation. Not only the players auditioning, but in some sense the coaches are too.
You would think so.
And the 1-2 pitch. In the air to center field. Brantley going back. That ball carried a long way to the warning track. 2 down. And with 2 away, Adam Jones will be the batter 1 for 3 tonight. He had a base hit in the 7th inning. Adam Jones had a bunt single in the 7th inning. Fouled right back to the screen, 0-2. They're on their feet here at Progressive Field as a Tribe. Looking to close out the Orioles here tonight. Chris Perez lets it fly. And a ground ball to third. Marte. The Indians snap their 4-game losing streak with a 4-1 win over Baltimore. A well-deserved win for Genmar Gomez, who is now 3-0 to start his major league career. The save goes once again to Chris Perez, who now has 14 on the season. Losing pitcher tonight, Kevin Millwood. He drops to 2-12 on the year. With the win, the Indians are 48-67. Baltimore drops to 40-75. It is time now for our play of the game, brought to you by KeyBank.
Well, Genmar Gomez tonight, again, a very good start in his 4th start at the Major League level. He is going to go to 3-0. The Tribe is 4-0 in his 4 starts. He went out there, gave him 6 innings. He battled, made the left-handers look very average, gave up just the 1 run. Kid had good movement on his pitches and another good ball game. So Genmar Gomez is going to be our KeyBank key play of the game.
And to back him up, both Rafael Perez and Chris Perez combined to throw 33 pitches, 28 of them for strikes. Switch to KeyBank and get a free Sony Bloggy. Visit key.com/bloggy for details. We're coming right back with the Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care postgame show next.